That's like the most Republican conspiracy theorist shit I've ever heard. You know, Ukraine is selling American weapons to Hamas. It's like to trans Hamas terrorists. God, I can't believe I know black people that watch Tucker Carlson. It hurts my soul every second I think about it. They tune in to Tucker Carlson. This guy doesn't even think you're a human being. You're over here watching, Tucker, please tell me how to think and feel. Just an update, guys, like 90% leaving the country in like 2 months. It's gotta happen. I gotta get out of here.
And this Tucker Carlson is back in the news after he's in a little bit of a MAGA civil war. Another right-wing commentator challenged him on his view on Ukraine and his relentless spreading of pro-Russian disinformation, and Tucker Carlson privately texted that commentator and started an argument, then kind of imploded in the private text. Now we have access to those texts, and Tucker is going viral for being an idiot. Let's break it all down. Make sure you drop a like, make sure you subscribe, and let's start, I guess, from the beginning. So Tucker Carlson posted this on March 1st. And a lot of it is just pro-Russian disinformation. We won't read the entire thing because he talks about American biolabs in Ukraine. He talks about Zelensky being an authoritarian. He says, one of the most striking things about yesterday's Zelensky press conference was Lindsey Graham's reaction. They are two old friends, but Graham disavowed him within the hour. It was more than transactional disloyalty. It was scapegoating. He says Lindsey Graham knows what's coming. He then claims that the Ukrainian government has committed a remarkable number of serious crimes. And here's the key claim that the entire argument revolves around. He says, the Ukrainians sold huge...
Before he continues, do we think Tucker is bot? It seems like it.
He's just stupid.
I don't know, dude. Like when he went to Russia and he was like doing just straight up propaganda for them, it seems like... Wait, was it Trudeau who was like... Trudeau said somebody was for sure bot, and he said it on camera. Was that Tucker?
Huge quantities of American weapons on the international black market at 20 cents on the dollar. Now, this is not true. There is absolutely zero evidence of this. There's zero.
Sold huge quantities of American weapons on the international black market at 20 cents on. What the fuck?
Bro, there's nothing. There's nothing.
Seriously, like, don't you think they would use those weapons for the war that they're in? Like, that doesn't even make sense. That makes zero sense.
Backing this up other than Tucker Carlson's tweets. And
like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with these people? And this shit has 11 million views, bro.
And
we had to wear the never mind.
Manic friends that maybe tell him lies. So, right-wing
okay, I was gonna say we had to wear the Harriet Tubman hoodie because I know there's gonna be some strong bullshit in this stream.
Commentator Richard Hanania decided to hit Tucker Carlson back. And Richard Hanania, the best way I could describe him is a Trump voter who honestly isn't scared to call out other Trump voters. And I know that sounds rare, but it pretty much is. Most of his feed is calling out Trump's dumb points and Trump supporters' dumb points. I mean, people are oftentimes
if you're a Trump supporter and you're constantly pointing out his dumb points, how are you still supporting him? That's what I don't understand.
Because that's daddy.
True. And daddy gonna come home and spank us.
Dude, it seems like you just don't agree with
I'm gonna turn my fan up.
Trump at this point, but Richard Hanania has been pretty consistently pro-Ukraine, and he disagrees with Trump on Ukraine, despite voting for Trump. I'll leave it at that. He said, I've criticized Zelensky, and I believe he deserves it, but there's a way to make good faith arguments that stick to the facts, not make stuff up about Ukraine selling weapons to Hamas. Again, not even true. You can have whatever opinion on the war you want, but I don't know how Tucker lives with himself when constantly lying to his audience on life and death.
That's like the most Republican conspiracy theorist shit I've ever heard. You know, Ukraine is selling American weapons to Hamas. It's like to trans Hamas terrorists. It's like, Jesus Christ, bro. Are you serious?
issues.
Also, they can fund an attack on Christianity. It's like, wow.
I've come to the conclusion that his brain really doesn't distinguish between truth and falsehood like it does for normal people. There's probably no redemption here, but people should understand what this man is. I mean, if you don't understand who Tucker Carlson is after the Dominion lawsuit, where we got leaked text showing Tucker Carlson didn't actually believe the election fraud lies. In fact, Tucker Carlson despised Trump. He said it himself. He despises Trump and doesn't want to cover him every day, but...
Exactly, never forget.
But he did. He lied entirely. I don't know how you can trust someone like that. So we then have a response. Someone says, wait, you don't believe weapons given to Ukraine have been sold on the black market? And Richard Hanania says, they have not been. If you think they have, your media diet is trash and you get completely new sources of facts. All right. So this is where we get the text from Tucker Carlson. Richard Hanania follows up a day later and says, Tucker Carlson was unhappy that I pointed out he was spreading false information that came from Russian propaganda about Ukrainian weapons being sold on the internet. Remember, that is the main claim here, and it's not even true. And I always want to slip in this point, we're not sending Ukraine money, we're sending them military equipment that we were going to dispose of anyways. Old military equipment that would have cost money to dispose of. So we get to send it to Ukraine, and they get to use it. So Richard says, Tucker reached out saying I was wrong, and I asked him for evidence so I could offer a correction. You can see it didn't go well. All he does is ask Tucker Carlson for evidence. I'll show you in 1 second. He says, I usually don't share private conversations, but there's news value here. And plus, he texted me out of the blue. I don't feel like we are friends anymore, so the implicit obligation to keep things private is gone. He says, people sit there wondering what makes people share false information all the time. My experience is that if you point out they're wrong about something, they consider you a traitor. I'm grateful to people who tell me when I get something wrong because I'm privileged enough to give my opinions for a living. All right, none of this really has to do with it. He says, needless to say, that means I used to talk to Tucker a lot more than I do now. So here's what Tucker Carlson texted Richard Hanania right away. And we have private text of Tucker Carlson being pro-Russia. He said, it's shocking to me that you'd assert something like this as fact when in fact you have no idea. And look at the top, the Tucker Carlson contact. It's kind of wild. The Ukrainian military has sold quantities of NATO weapons over the past 3 years. I know someone who's bought them, says Tucker. Oh, you know
Who? Who and how?
someone, yeah. This is all well known outside the United States, but because you understand the world through social media, you're completely ignorant. Please show some humility and stop weighing in on things you know nothing about. And then he quotes back, or he links back to Richard's tweet about the media diet being trash. And let me just tell you, when you're trying to claim that everybody outside the United States knows this, it just shows. It shows that Tucker Carlson is in a pro-Russia media bubble. When you start to make comparisons between the West and other parts of the world, saying, oh, if you're in the West, you're probably brainwashed on this or that, that means Russia has gone to you. I've had these arguments so many times where people say that I'm just brainwashed by American propaganda, when in reality, they're brainwashed by Russian propaganda. But it gets better. Richard then pushes back and says, very simply, where is your evidence? Show it to me, and I'll issue a correction. I honestly think that's the best response. Just ask for a source.
Yep.
Ask for a source. Ask for a source. That's simple. Just ask for a source. Tucker then says, your child. When was
what the fuck?
the last time you traveled outside the United States?
This
Tucker's
is the typical Republican move. Divert. These motherfuckers never answer direct questions.
says that like he's been anywhere but Russia over the past few. Tucker's been to Russia to interview Putin. I mean, what do you mean travel outside the United States? Then Richard says, so I'll take that to mean you don't have a credible source. Tucker Carlson never responded. Tucker Carlson got blown the fuck out. He was absolutely wrong here. He has no source. And look at what happens the second you ask for a source. The second you ask for a source, these people turn into absolute children.
Like, if he knew somebody who was buying these weapons, why wouldn't he be talking about it all the fucking time? You know, like, that doesn't even make any sense. If I knew somebody who was doing this shit, somebody asked for evidence, it'd be pretty fucking easy to provide that evidence. But for some reason, he just can't do it.
I can't give you a single...
Oh my God, I can't believe I know black people that watch Tucker Carlson. It hurts my soul every second I think about it. They tune in to Tucker Carlson. This guy doesn't even think you're a human being. You're over here watching, Tucker, please tell me how to think and feel. It's fucking disgusting.
source because his source is that he made it the fuck up. But here's another example of disinformation I really want to point out to you guys. This is incredibly important because this shows how disinformation makes its way through our ecosystem. So make sure you drop some blue hearts for this example because you're about to be mind blown.
Blue heart, what?
This reads, this is the main problem with the post-truth online information ecosystem in a nutshell. A MAGA user claimed last night that the Democratic politicians of Antony Blinken, Newland, and Vindman had a conversation with Zelensky on his flight to Washington before his meeting with Trump. This was a complete lie, and she cites no sources or evidence and goes on to admit she was speculating, meaning this MAGA person made it up. Hours later, more MAGA users started to rehash the claim. Let's go through this. This is going to actually blow your mind, and it kind of shows how this problem begins. So someone named Peachy Keenan. Let me look this person up on Twitter right now. Peachy Keenan has 100,000 Twitter followers, and she said, Blinken, Rice, Newland, and Vindman conference call with Zelensky on the flight to DC, advising him to stand strong and be tough, and don't let Trump bully you, seems to have backfired. Then Peachy says, I am speculating, but obviously I'm correct. Obama probably on too. Just making shit up. Obama was probably on the call as well, making stuff up about these calls, and then admitting in this post, I am speculating. So this person with 100,000 followers posts this.
But obviously
it gets
I'm
70,000
I know, right? Like, that is some... Don't make it about race, Kahmal. Calm down. I'm sorry.
views. Not a huge deal. But then some account called Matthew Nickel. Let's see how big this account is really quickly on my side
It's
monitor.
common sense, Kylan. It's common sense. This is the party of common sense. Duh. If it... Like, just follow the building blocks.
Matthew Nickel has about 55,000 followers, and for some reason I have him blocked. He must have been trolling me. Matthew Nickel then says, rumor has it that traders Blinken, Newland, Rice, and Vindman advised Zelensky to stand tall in his meeting with Trump. If true, they are acting as foreign agents violating the Logan Act. So he saw this off of a tweet where Peachy admitted she made this up. She said, I'm speculating, but obviously I'm correct. She made this up. So then Matthew reposts it, and this one actually gets 900,000 views and 27,000 likes. It starts to pick up some steam. A completely false claim, by the way. And then an account named Amuse, just at Amuse. They have over 600,000 followers. Then they say, Ukraine, Obama's team, including Blinken, Victoria Nuland, Susan Rice, and Alexander Vindman, advised Zelensky to reject Trump's deal in violation of the Logan Act. Then it really begins to pick up. We have 1.7 million views on this post. Can I just remind you one more time? This all tracks back to this sourceless claim from Peachy Keenan. And then finally, Richard Grenell, who works within the Trump administration, who should have access to this information. He is currently the special presidential envoy for special missions for Trump. He's working in the Trump admin. He reposts it and says,
Bro, our government is just fucking high school politics now. It's just fucking. I heard Jessica said that Trevor was cheating on Bethany.
Seriously, it's a game of shitty, fucking retarded telephone.
It's speculation, but it's probably true.
No, it's obviously true.
Obviously, it's true.
Not even probably. We can't even give her
Yeah.
probably. It's obviously true. I mean, duh.
This shit is fucking stupid. We're getting our facts, quote unquote, from Twitter,
Yeah.
X,
And
formerly known as Twitter.
everybody's got a blue check mark. Thanks, Elon. Ooh, yeah, it's fucked, bro. It's done. Just an update, guys. Like 90% leaving the country in like 2 months. It's gotta happen. I gotta get out of here. Gotta go. Should we keep going? This is depressing.
this is very serious. So now we have Trump admin officials accusing Vindman, Obama, Blinken, Newland, Susan Rice of being traitors who coached Zelensky when this all came from an anonymous account. Or not anonymous account. It all came from an account with zero source. That's even worse. An account with zero source, with not really that many followers, and they admitted they made it up. And this information now has, let's add up these numbers. 70K views plus about 900K.
All right, we get it. What do we think, people? How confident are you feeling in the competency of your government?
0.
Super confident? Ultra confident? Or too confident? Oh, well, that was dark. Yeah, bro. I mean, like we already knew this. You know what I mean? Like, but it is sad to see just how like gullible and fucking stupid people are.
It already is, Jay.
Genuine question, because I try to be more positive. Is anybody optimistic? Does anybody think like America's gonna be good? And like I'm tripping because I would love to hear that perspective. I haven't heard that perspective in so long by anybody that I respect. Hell nah. Well, so far so good.
The
No
best
way.
I can imagine is, it's gonna be bad for a good chunk of time, and it's gonna take a long time to fix it.
Yeah, that's kind of my mindset too. Americans' brains seem cooked. I'm not gonna argue with you there.
And that's being
I mean, we
as
came out of a civil war.
hopeful as
That's
possible.
true. I would love to return my right to vote and cancel my draft application. You don't think midterms will happen? Well, that was worse than I was hoping to hear, but I get it. Okay, I don't think we got one yes. All right.